Hello, welcome to our little shop. It is December the 3rd in West Virginia. It's a little chilly here, a little dry, and we are going to have one of those discussions. About a month ago, actually a little bit over a month ago, the customer brought this Martin 00017 in. It was new, to have me set it up and put a K&K pickup in it for him. So we did that. He picked it up, and he called me a few days ago, and he commented that he had a back bow in the neck and it was fretting out, especially when you used a capo. So of course I had him bring it on in so we could do a follow-up checkup in case he did have a problem. It also mentioned that his office that he kept it in was a little bit dry, it seemed to him, so he'd added a humidifier. So when I get the guitar in here, I go to check it out and find the neck is pretty much fine. There was no back bow. But what had happened, the top had shrunk and the back had shrunk, so the neck angle had changed and the bridge height had dropped. This is all due to low humidity. Now, no more than a week ago, I put a very verbose post on my Facebook page for the shop to tell everybody that we're in that season and you got to start watching your instruments. So what had happened on this one, the string height had actually dropped below half of what it had been set at when I set it up. I've started humidifying it slowly and bringing it back. It's been almost a week now, and I've got it back half of where it needs to be. Like I say, you got to humidify it back slow and be careful. So the point I want to make here is, in the winter seasons like this, things dry out. Factories recommend 45 to 55% humidity at 70 degrees. And people will say, including this gentleman, that it's hard to do that. Well, you got two choices. You can either try to do it and maintain it, or have problems with your instruments. Now, this is actually a fairly mild case of what happens, but he was well on his way to bigger problems. When something like this shrinks, you have a lot of issues. And another telltale sign is you can actually feel the fret ends sticking up the fingerboard where the fingerboard is shrunk. Actually, you can probably hear that. That one's bad. Anyway, you can also have the fingerboard shrink here and cause cracks along the side of the fingerboard where the fingerboard is glued to the top. When it shrinks, it takes the top with it. But this fellow was lucky he caught it before he had big problems. Every year I have lots of stuff come in here. Now there's a couple rules you got to remember. Like I say, the humidity thing is a main, but I want to point a few things out here. I've also had guys bring guitars in here with cracks in them that they leave hanging in wall hangers in a room or in guitar stands setting out. One guy even pointed out to me that, I don't know why it cracked, I had a guitar humidifier in it. Well, you can't humidify an entire room with a guitar humidifier stuck in a sound hole. Another thing is, even if you're using a good guitar humidifier, you have to monitor it and keep an eye on it. Another tip for you guys, humidifiers only work properly when they're enclosed in a case. Like I say, you can't have the room evaporating all the moisture out of it. So you're also humidifying the case. So you gotta monitor it, keep an eye on what's going on. Add water as necessary, or whatever you need to do. Something else, a cloth gig bag is not a case. It's not airtight, or, well, no ways near airtight as a regular case. So it will actually absorb moisture and then be evaporated out into the surrounding area. So actually, guitar humidifiers do not work well in gig bags either. So there's another tip for you. But the thing is, I'm just trying to tell you to head off some problems. I've had guys bring guitars in here that you could pick up and actually see through cracks in the top and back. You can see through the entire guitar. And like I say, it's one of those things, it's not a sign of a bad guitar or a bad piece of wood. It's bad maintenance. So, guys have actually told me, well, as much as you pay for these things, you'd think they'd be made better. Well, as much as you paid for it, you'd think you'd take care of it better. You gotta think it a little bit. So anyway, this is just to give you guys a heads up. They say, I want you to understand what's going on. You have to humidify these things. Solid wood guitars, the more expensive they are, the better the wood you've got in it. It's more susceptible to this sort of thing than the laminates. They don't flex as much. I actually had one customer that played an old Yamaha for like 30 years. After he bought a Gibson, he came in here and told me, he said, well, I never had a problem with the guitar until I bought a good one. Then I find out that he's been taking this Gibson down to the lake and along the riverbank around campfires and stuff at night, and he's wondering why he's got problems with it. So, there we go. Like I say, it's dry season. If you're using fireplace heat, pellet stoves, wood burners, all kinds of stuff, depending on what you've got, you got to maintain things a little bit better. All heat is dry, but some is actually worse. So all I'm trying to do is save you guys some headaches. So look into what you've got. Go to your local Walmart or whatever store and buy a small battery-operated digital humidity gauge and thermometer. They're only, like $10-15. You can either keep it in a case or keep it in a room if you're humidifying the whole room. And if you have to humidify a whole room, you're probably going to use a pretty good sized humidifier. You've got to put gallons of water into the room a day to keep it actually right. So I hope that information helps you a little bit. I just want to get you through the season without any damages. So until next time, play nice. I'll see you later.